In this tutorial, I'll show you how to quickly get JPEG images straight out of Zen without having to save CZI files first. If you're familiar with Zen, you'll recall that all images taken by the program are first saved in a raw file format with the extension CZI. In most cases, it's a good idea to save these files because they offer complete flexibility with no loss of information. But sometimes they can be heavy files. And if all you want to do is get a standard shareable JPEG, then it might be worthwhile to just save JPEG straight away. This is a good workflow for diagnostic and routine labs. So I'll show you how to get standard JPEGs, and I'll also show you how to rename files with descriptive file names before saving them into the final format. So to get started, just run your Zen Blue program, and of course we'll go into the camera tab here to get a live image up. So I'll click live, and what you're looking at is a sample. It's just a test image, and it doesn't matter what the image is, just pretend it's an image that you're seeing down the microscope. At this point, you have to adjust the exposure time and make sure that it's not getting overexposed and that you're happy with the image. Afterwards, all you need to do is click snap, and you'll see that the image that you have taken will show up here at the top as a new tab, as a new image. And also you will see this on the right side, and under images and documents, it will be the same image that we have in the central part of the program now. So this is called Snap 32. And the next step after you take the picture is you can change the display if you want, change the display settings, or you can just keep it as is. And then you can go into the next step, which is to jump into the processing tab. Now in the processing tab, under export and import, there's a function called image export, and that's what we want. And because I've already used this in the past, this is showing up here under recently used, and that's what we will click and go into. So now we are under method parameters, and what we're telling the program is to export the file as a JPEG first of all, but you also have other formats. You can export files as bitmaps or TIFF files if you want, or PNGs, but we'll focus on the JPEGs. And you can change the quality, the image quality, so we'll keep it at 100% in this example. And you can also change the size of the JPEG, so we'll keep it at 100%. And here it's asking us if we want the program to save the display setting changes that we've made, so the changes in the histogram, for example, and if you want to burn in graphics like scale bars and annotations. Now the important part here comes at the bottom. So export to is where we want the files to be saved to. In this case, I want them to be saved in a folder called patient files in the C drive. And sometimes when you first use this function, this tick box called create folder will have a check on it. And for simplicity's sake, we want that turned off. So untick it and make sure you choose the correct folder that you want. So just click the ellipsis here and choose the folder that you want. In this case, again, it's patient files, and I'll click OK. Now the next step is to rename your file. So this is already called Snap32. That's the default name it was given. But we can change it to, for example, patient X. And after you've done that, you can just click apply, and that's it. So if I bring that folder into the screen here, so this is the patient folder, patient files folder, you'll see that the patient X image has already been saved as a JPEG. Now let's take another picture. So we'll go back into camera and we'll go live, and then we'll click snap. So at this point we have a new image on the screen, and then we'll go into processing, and again we'll just all the settings have already been defined, so we'll just click apply, and if we bring the folder back, then there's our JPEG image. So it's still called Snap33 because I did not rename it. But if I go back into Zen and say this is patient Y and then click apply, if I go back into the folder, now we have an image here for patient Y. And that's how you get JPEGs out of Zen without having to save these CZI files. Now, after you've set these parameters, you can actually make it simpler. So if you're working in a multi-user lab where you don't want people changing settings anymore, you can hide a lot of these functions simply by going into View and unticking Show All. So if you remove that, a lot of the controls are gone, and all you're left with are controls for changing the image quality, resizing the images, and changing the folder that you want, and also the file name before saving it into a JPEG. So one last example, I'll go into camera, I'll turn the live image on, I'll take a picture, and then again I'll jump into processing and I'll call this patient A, for example. And again I'll click apply, and if I go back into the patient files folder, there it is, patient A. Once you're done with that, after you get all the JPEGs that you want, you're still left with the CZI raw files here at the top. But these are just temporary files. So you can save them if you want. But in this exercise, we're going to get rid of them because we already have the JPEGs. So what you can do is either click them one by one. So click the X and then say, nope, you don't want to save it. Or you can just select multiple files here on the right side. So I'm clicking on Snap32. Pressing Shift on the keyboard and then clicking on the last image, which happens to be Snap33 over here. And you'll see that both of them are highlighted, but if you have more files, then all of them will be highlighted. And then the next step is to click X. So close selected images. It will ask you if you want to save the documents, and we do not. So we will just click Unselect All and then click OK. And now those files are gone. And that's basically the process. Just take the picture, go into processing. After you've set the parameters here, then you can just click apply, and you will get the JPEG straight out of Zen. Thanks for watching.